I like to ask everyone the same question. We'll go through like one at a time. And maybe before you answer the question, introduce yourself and your role and your background in film and storytelling. So here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passions. Where did your passion for filmmaking and storytelling come from that made you get into the industry? Was it a certain movie, a certain performance, or something that was just naturally for you as a child? Maybe we'll start with the three producers first.
Yes. Can you let us in? We're on my phone, and we just logged on to our from our computer.
Okay. Yeah. There's one more.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. I think I got everybody.
Okay. Leaving my phone now.
Mm-hmm. My connection is really bad, so if I disappear, mine's not working very well.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that great, but it's okay. I think people accept that in this day and age. So,
okay,
it's part of the gig now.
Of course. 1 second, Jen, start.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to start? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
do you want me to refresh the question, or you got it?
The question is, how did we start?
Yeah, where'd your passion for filmmaking kind of come from? Was it inspired by a certain performance? Was it something that was just naturally for you as a child?
Definitely for me as a child at 5 years old, I saw the movie Grease and I fell in love with John Travolta, and he's been my boyfriend ever since. Sorry, honey.
I'm devastated.
Now I've got my own John Travolta, but I
cool.
wanted to be Olivia Newton-John, and I was Olivia Newton-John for 3 years in a row, and then and Wonder Woman too. I mean, that's when I realized I'm like, I want to be inside of that box. Like, and so I always had that in my heart. I wanted to tell stories, and yes, I am dating myself, the Brady Bunch. Right now, this is the you know, dream come true Brady Bunch little boxes.
Yeah, we're like looking around.
So for me personally, that's when it started. I was literally 5 in Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia, and
oh, no way! I grew up in Serena Park, Maryland. So
really, oh, I have cousins there right now in Hyattsville, Maryland.
Okay. Oh, yeah, could you introduce yourself too before you answer each question too?
So Yeniffer Behrens, Mauricio Mendoza, we are best friends, husband and wife, and producing partners and co-parents.
And we are True Form Films.
And yes, we are True Form Films. We met actually as actors. We
Oh,
started,
that's so cool.
Our journey started as actors, which I think a lot of us here, we started as actors, and we've transitioned into filmmaking and storytellers, you know, content creators. So when we met, we both wanted to start producing, and that was what, 11 years ago, when we got cast opposite each other in a movie. And I had started True Form Films, and he had also been producing. He was doing his own website web series. And then that was just one more thing that connected us, and we were an on-set romance.
Yes.
I love that. It's a very inspiring story.
Anytime you want.
Well, when I saw her, I said, hubba, hubba.
And so, you know, we just started working together, and that, I mean, the rest is history. You know, we've produced films, we've produced documentaries, short films, music videos, in
this project, which we'll be talking about later. So
and now this project during this quarantine, Alex called us. We've known Alex for years, and he's always been a huge supporter of our work through the Cinematheque and the Egyptian Theater. We've screened our projects there, and Alex has always supported us, and he's always been our champion when it comes to our independent filmmaking dreams. So we're grateful to him for
exactly.
And you know, he created Apertura for us independent filmmakers to have a platform to show our work. And then when he called us and invited us to partake in this mastermind that he had, which is the Sins and Virtues project during COVID-19, it was like, you had me at hello. So it was let's do it. And now to see how it's grown and to see how many people joined, that we love, that we've been in this journey for over 20 years together as fellow actors and fellow filmmakers, it's really makes my heart sing, and I'm just so grateful and thrilled about it.
I love it because, I mean, independent filmmaking, it is about the passion, because there is very little money to be made in glory, but it's all about telling that story, getting it seen. Alex, I'd like to go next. Where did your passion for filmmaking kind of come from, which made you in this amazing career that you had as a distributor?
It all started in very young. I must have been 8, 10 years old, in which then there was no video, there was nothing like that, but they were going in the Mexican Cinematheque, they were going to show Singing in the Rain.
Wow.
And it was the favorite film of my mom. So she told me, come with me, I want to see this film and you're gonna like it. So I said, okay, well, whatever. It's not Batman, I don't know. So I came in, watched that movie, and that changed me. I say, I want to do that. Because it was a movie within a movie, it was more of that, okay? Because you could see what the Hollywood version of the backstage is. But that inspired me. Then in high school, literature teacher wanted us to put a play, a short play. We were in, what is that? Ninth grade, and we said, yeah, so everybody, but I didn't want to act. I'm not an actor, I just play one in TV. But I sat next to the director, the teacher, and she directed one day, she directed 2 days. By the third day, I asked her questions, why you are doing this and not this, da, da, da. The fourth day, she didn't show up, just sent a note saying, now you are the director. So then I directed for the first time. And I was directing my fellow students in feminine role, and we were an all-male school. So that was challenging. And that was my first challenge. Then later I started design. I studied graphic design. I went into commercials, advertising, that type of thing. Came to the States to study film and stay with my wife here because my wife is from New York. Mm-hmm. So we decided to stay. I was planning to go back to Mexico to make commercials, but decided to stay here, try to produce 2 films. I couldn't. I couldn't. And I had mentors of mine as co-producers, and we could. 2 films. So I say, school didn't teach me enough. I need to get into the studio and learn from the inside. So I applied to Vestron. All of you are too young to remember what Vestron is. Vestron invented home video, okay? They were the first company to put home video out. Their first film produced by them, Dirty Dancing. So we went, I went in and they hired me as a manager of the Hispanic division. We were, whatever they were releasing in the US domestic, we were releasing in Spanish, subtitle or dub. And that's how I started inside distribution. And then somehow they start throwing money at me, throwing posts, and a year and a half later, I ended up handling theatrical, video, TV, all languages, all media, with the exception of US domestic, that includes Canada and Puerto Rico. Everything else, and I can't say I distribute or I sold. I work for the companies that do that.
Yeah.
Okay. There's always someone above you who is the actually one doing the decisions. I was the grunt work, and I went to all the festivals. Got tired. They burned me down, hated corporate politics, opened my consulting firm to advise all these guys. But the problem is they don't have money.
Yes, that is true.
Okay, so I was starving to death until one day I made one deal that gave me one commission, and I said I had to diversify. And I put up a company that now specializes in doing the event image or graphic image, meaning we do the key art for the event and we design the elements and we print them and we set it up. And that we have been doing now for 19 years, the last 11. And we decided to start working for the Latino film. And that's how we got to meet the people at the American Cinematheque, because the Latino film rented the theater for them. And then little by little, my relationship with the American Cinematheque started solidifying until one day, it is not, I'm telling you all, it is not my initiative. Apertura, a showcase for Latino films at the Egyptian, that is the epicenter of Hollywood. Mm-hmm. In cooperation, in association with the American Cinematheque, we present Apertura periodically, a Latino film at the Egyptian. So that's how I got to meet a lot of people, because I got involved in LALIP, got into LALIP. So when this thing happened, my business went zero. I'm dead on the water as business, not making one penny. Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing to distribute right now, right? So
and I'm bored. And I'm bored. Yeah. Okay. So I started thinking, how the origin of this. Oh, sorry, everybody's gonna introduce themselves. I'm already talking. Next.
Who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi.
My name is Marina Jaimes. I'm an Emmy Award-winning host. I come from the world of storytelling. I used to do a show on PBS called Storytime. But I was really excited to be part of this project, actually through Alex Mendoza and Apertura, a documentary that I worked on about doing voiceover and Latina actresses in Hollywood.
Oh, very cool.
He actually said, hey, even if PBS picked it up, let's do a screening of it. So it was really a great invitation, and I've been doing voiceover forever. I think you call yourself a turtle of many shells. Is that right?
I have a little animated web series I used to do, but I do.
Yes.
Turtle, so.
Yes. So, you know, we all have to look for different ways of continuing to progress and stay in this industry, in this business. So I also do voiceover, and I host. I'm currently hosting a show called The Trend Talk. But it's really important that we got together to do this project at this time. I think COVID-19 is going to change a lot of things, especially our very own perceptions of the roles that we will now accept. At least I speak for myself. Considering, for example, how many Latinos are involved in healthcare at this time, and I have people in my family that are doctors, but then to also see the rampant racism and, you know, kind of the crazy behavior when it's people that look like me that are actually helping people to survive this. So I'm very excited to have a tiny little bit to offer to Sins and Virtues. I think this project is a fantastic idea. And the fact that instead of moping or, you know, feeling bad during this quarantine, we've actually had a chance to create, to collaborate, and to look towards the future. So I'm very excited, and thank you so much for interviewing us today.
I love your story. It's very inspiring. So who can top that?
Pressure's on.
Can't top it, but I'll go.
Go ahead, Kim.
Okay, I'm Kim DeVinny. I'm up here in Santa Barbara in our heat wave today. My background is I was a teacher, actually, teaching in Spanish, so that's kind of how I got involved in this. And I met Alex through all of
we lost you for a second.
Theater.
Kim,
a lot of those events.
Kim, can you start over? We kind of reception went away.
I was predominantly a writer, and when I had my kids, she stayed home and wrote screenplays for 101 Entertainment. Oh,
Yeah.
did you lose me?
Yeah, we lost you.
Okay.
I can hear you now. All I heard was Egyptian theater, so it seems like
we paused there.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, that's where I met Alex, by going to all of those events.
Gotcha.
Did you get the part where I was a teacher in Spanish?
Why don't you just start over just to make sure I get all clean audio from everything?
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I was a teacher in Spanish back in the day, and then had my kids and stayed home, and I started writing screenplays for fun, and did that for years and years while the kids were growing up. And then when they left the nest, and my daughter in particular went to USC Film School, the minute she left, I started my company, Highway 101 Entertainment.
No.
To
We lost you again, Kim.
work on producing.
Kim is she's a producer. She's a producer, very well established.
I think I froze again.
She's in development in like 3 projects in Ireland.
Wow.
She's
I'm frozen.
she's a jet setter.
Yeah.
She's all over the world.
Hey, Kim, Alex is going to be your hype man, okay?
I was very glad to find out that she came back to the States, even in the middle of the pandemic. She came back to the States, and I say, I got her. Now I have another one.
Well, we're quickly though. It seems like everyone's connected to the Egyptian theater. What? I mean, I just moved from Orange County, California, to here to Orlando, Florida. I've covered a lot of independent film stuff there. Is it Netflix still trying to buy it, or is it still trying to stay its independence
It's
state? Yeah.
It is done. It is sold.
Okay.
It is official. It has been signed. And don't be mad, okay?
Yeah, we're still going to support the independent film.
I cannot speak for the Cinematheque. I
Yeah.
can only speak for myself. And I see everybody happy.
Okay, that's good. That's great then. So
My opinion, and only my opinion, I have no inside information on it, but my opinion is that the Cinematheque bought the Egyptian for $1 25 years ago.
oh wow.
Something like that, for $1, okay? So now they sold it to Netflix for God knows what, but it has to be lots of money, okay? That alone is a good deal, okay? Now, next is, now the Cinematheque has a huge endowment. It has to be huge endowment to do all the projects. And to sweeten the deal, Netflix is letting them still use the Egyptian.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great.
What else you want, man?
Yeah.
So nobody should feel bad about that. Now, if Netflix starts playing games and the access to the theater is curtailed, or they start doing something that hurts the historical side, then they will hear from me too. But until then, I think they're doing something very good. It's a sugar daddy deal.
Mm-hmm.
It is a great deal. And Netflix gains prestige, by osmosis, some historical legend, okay? And they have their premiere house as Disney has El Capitan. So I think it's a good deal overall. Next. Michael, your turn.
Michael, you're up.
Is there more than one Michael, or is it just me this time?
Looks
No,
like
that's true. No,
Yeah, okay, all right. Usually I'm not used to that.
Miguel.
Oh,
Miguel.
yeah. It's a very common name.
Oh, yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is, everyone else knows me, but hello, Steven. My name is Michaelis Garcia. I am an actor, martial artist based in Los Angeles. I started acting from a very crucial moment in my life. I was 3 years old. It was like a triple whammy year. And that year I saw Empire Strikes Back, The Mask of Zorro, and Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. And then I was like, man, I wish I could do all of these jobs, be a Jedi, a pet detective, and mass vigilante in California in the 1860s. And my dad was like, you can do that. You just have to be an actor. And I was like, what's that? And they're like, they pay you and you dress up and you they put on the camera and that's what you do. And I was like, oh, okay. And about 2 months later, I booked my first gig. I think I was 4 years old at that time. I've just been working ever since. So. That's where I'm at.
That. That's so inspiring. So thank you.
Funny thing is that I distribute.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that, Alex. Did you have trouble distributing that? Because that was like before Jim Carrey was Jim Carrey. Was that hard to get theaters and distribution for that, or?
The first one
Yeah.
was a surprise. Everybody was surprised by the blockbuster nature of it. Everybody thought they had a big, small comedy that was going to, it was funny because he's a good comedian, but he was not known nothing. But Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, the second one, the sequel, I came into Morgan Creek about 2 months before release. And then I had with my boss a meeting in Technicolor, the lab, okay, to talk strategy of release. We were going to have Rome, London, New York, and Burbank, all of them churning prints because it was going to be the largest release worldwide, and it was going to be the largest release worldwide simultaneously.
Wow. In
order to avoid piracy, we were trying to release in as many territories as possible, day and date. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The woman at Technicolor, the boss in Technicolor, look at my boss and say, and you're gonna give all this to him? How about you? I have never done that. So yeah, okay.
Oh, that's so great.
So yes, now I influenced your career since you were very young, Michael. Miguel, next.
Yeah, I'll go next.
Yeah, Miguel.
So yeah, my name is Miguel Paredes. Let's see, how did I get into the film industry? Well, yeah, I have an interesting story as well. I started acting actually in theater. I was doing theater like locally. I grew up going back and forth between Massachusetts and California. Mm-hmm. So I was mostly in Massachusetts, studying, and then I studied theater and I went to college for it. And then one of my professors is from South Africa. So then I went over to South Africa to study and get my master's in theater. And while I was there, there's actually a small film industry in Cape Town. And so because I have an American accent, it was actually very exciting for someone to be there that has like a pure American accent in the industry. So I kind of was just picked up off the street one day, really. It was just like,
you probably were in high demand, just for that.
Exactly. They're like, oh, I love your hair. And then I'm like, thanks. I'm like, oh my God, you have an American accent? Sign here, And so I kind of got thrusted into that, and that was really exciting to kind of be in an international scale. So it was interesting having my first, professional experiences there because, it's very similar, but it's also like a microcosm. It's still smaller in terms of things, but Americans are flying in all the time, international things. But that was kind of how I got my start in South Africa. So then once I finished my master's last year in 2019, I moved back to Los Angeles to start here. And that's where I got connected to all these amazing people. And, it's interesting to talk about like why we're doing this right now, because, as a young filmmaker that just moved here, I was like, excited, starting getting auditions, starting to get a call back, things were starting to moving, and then everything stopped, and so.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly, right. It was like, what? Oh my God, And so the fact that we were able to keep going, I had a similar experience when I was in theater, where at my school, we were doing this big play about people of color, and I was like, oh my God, I'm such a shoo-in, right? Especially in Massachusetts, not many people of color. And I didn't get cast at all. I did not get cast. I got the call back and I didn't get cast. And there was this huge moment of like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I decided to start directing. And I feel like there's a similar moment now where as an actor, I was like ready to get going, and then things stopped and it was like, what are we doing? And then Alex came with this amazing opportunity to direct and produce something as well. And I was like, yes, this is the moment to do that. So it's really interesting how life works, but that's kind of my story in a little 30 seconds.
That's cool. I enjoy that. That's why I love asking that question, because it's always everyone's got a different background story for it,
Exactly.
All right. Who's moving along? We got a good number.
Laura.
Yes. Hi, my name is Laura Patalano. I'm from Mexico originally, and I was exposed to art at a very, very young age. I used to go to see plays, theater basically. So and my mother loved movies. So we used to go every Friday to see classic movies from the golden age to the Bella Época en La Condesa every Friday when I was living in Mexico. So all the
Nice.
great movies like Gone with the Wind and Casablanca and all these great movies, I was into that when I was a very young, like probably teenager. So then I went to high school, and in high school they had a program for after school program for theater. So I decided to join an Alejandro Bichir, that is a very well-known director and director in Mexico City. After I did my first improvisation, he approached to me and he said, "You need to go to school for this. You have the gift. You're so good." So he started bugging me, and I guess I believed him, and then I went to school for this. I have the equivalent to the bachelor's in Mexico. As soon as I finished school, I started working pretty much. And then I moved to New York, and I did a bunch of indie films, and then I decided to come here to pursue my career, and everything is going great, thank God. So that's pretty much my
What
story.
you're working on now, Laura?
Gentified, we just will pick up for second season. Thank you, guys.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And I have another recurring in the L World, Generation Q, and I am the voiceover of a cartoon in Cartoon Network, Victor and Valentino. And I am the grandmother Chata, so pretty much.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Real quick though, you mentioned there was a big director in the Mexico film world. Please educate me who he is and what his background.
Alejandro Bichir is a theater director.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know Demian Bichir. He is one of the, I think the only one Mexican actor that has been like nominated for an Oscar. And his father is Alejandro Bichir. So he was pretty much my first coach and mentor, and the one that pushed me to a story. So that's what I'm here now, thanks to him.
It's a whole family. It's like,
yeah, it is a whole family.
It's like the Barrymores of Mexico. It's his father and his brother. The Bridge, does that ring a bell? He was one of the stars of The Bridge.
Oh, yes.
And many films.
A Better Life. A Better Life, that was the movie that he was nominated for.
Even Get on Board. You gotta check these out.
I love it. Learning so much.
That's in few words, my story.
True.
Okay, Alex, who do you like to nominate next?
Oscar and you.
I can't hear you.
So you go first.
Okay, I fell into acting. It wasn't something that I knew that I wanted to do. Although I think I first got hooked without knowing when I saw a double feature of Rocky and Rocky 2.
Oh,
and I wanted to be Rocky. I didn't realize I wanted to be an actor. I just wanted to be an actor. And that a bum could be a champ. I'm like, I can identify with that. Even though I was a little kid. And then I kind of fell into it in college. It was an elective in college that I took. Not because I wanted to, but it was the only class available at the time that I needed. And that's how I started acting. And then I had some success early on, even though I wasn't very good. And that motivated me to, study. I figured if I can get work without being good, if I study, then it'll be easy. I was very wrong, but it worked out. And then into storytelling, after acting for many years, my wife, Shuri too, had written a feature film called Pretty Rosebud, and we were looking for a director. So we started interviewing directors, and we couldn't quite find the right one. And at that time, I had spent so much time with the script that I kind of saw the movie, how it should look, the tone, everything. And then I asked her, fearfully, if I could direct it, because I knew it. I had never directed. I've been married to her, but I know working with somebody is totally different than working.
Yeah, exactly.
But it turned out beautifully. We did the feature film, and it did very well, and it's out there now. And since then, we've kept working together. We just finished shooting 2 shorts in a row, and this one is the 3rd one in the last 4 months. Wow,
that's impressive. 4 months.
Yeah.
You got the 3.
Yeah. So we've went on a streak, and the acting has gone well. Thank God. I've been now for 4 seasons in a show called The Haves and the Have-Nots, a Tyler Perry show. I play the head of the Italian mafia.
Yeah. But he's not Italian. But
That's the beauty about acting, you know. You
Also Tyler Perry.
Yeah. An actor.
He thinks I do. And we're still married. So.
And we're still married. Yeah.
That's the best part.
You know, it's funny because Oscar, while we were interviewing for directors for Pretty Rosebud, I didn't know that he was thinking that he would be a good candidate. I individually and separately was going, God, why can't he just direct it? He would be amazing. You know, it's so funny. So finally, when he came to me to say, hey, what do you think this? I was like, yes. It was a nice meeting of the minds. So similar to Oscar, I did not intentionally become an actor first and foremost. I've always been inspired by, pardon me if I get a little teary, but inspired by motivating people, inspiring people, getting people to understand the needs of others and being in another's shoes. And 2 movies that really, I love old movies. So It's a Wonderful Life and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Oh, great movie.
So, because of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, I was going to be Mrs. Smith or Ms. 2, I guess. And I'm just like, I am going to change the world. Well, I did not realize that politics is very contentious and it's absolutely ridiculous. So that's when I was like, okay, I don't want to be a politician. I would much rather inspire people through entertainment. And so that's how I became an actor in film, television, and whatnot. So.
And you wrote? Why did you write?
Oh, thank you. I forgot. So I also I started writing. I wrote our episode for our anthology, but I started writing early on because I was really tired of stereotypical roles in the media for people of my color and all colors actually. It's like, really, do I have to be a maid again? Do I have to be the prostitute? Oh, for Halloween, for example, Oscar goes as drug dealer number 2 and I go as hooker number 3. You know, just to kind of be like, yeah, you know.
Is that what mostly when you try out, just because of your background, they put you into that role? That's kind of unfair.
In the past. I mean, things have gotten so much better, but you know, it's our little tongue-in-cheek, our little jab at,
gotcha.
Oh yeah, this is great. This is what you always go out for, you know what I mean? But we have survived and thrived the filmmaking journey and even this Corona lockdown, so.
Well, congratulations, and thank you for sharing your story. Alex, I'll let you vote for who goes next.
Yeah, next.
Mauricio's next.
Oh, Mauricio. I thought you had spoken for him.
Se quedó con la palabra en la boca.
Mine is very short. I grew up singing and dancing. My family is a bunch of singer and dancers. But I saw a movie, West Side Story, and then the second one, La Bamba, and that changed my life forever. I saw a possibility of having a career because I saw those films, and then I saw the magnificent Raul Julia do Taming of the Shrew, and with Meryl Streep, and I said, that's who I'm going to become, and that's who I will take as a mentor for the rest of my life. And here I am, still 30 years later in my chosen career and producing with my wife and, you know, making a difference through our films and through, you know, our acting.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, Fidel.
Thanks, Fidel.
I'm having a slow. Can you guys hear me? Because this thing says my internet is unstable.
I can hear you fine.
All right.
Let's hope it stays that way. So.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us here. Let's see. Let's try to make this short. I think I did my first film when I was 13. years old.
Wow.
I knew from a very early age that film was what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Directing was more where I was at until when I was in college. I kind of figured that seeing somebody else's stuff, and what I really wanted was to tell stories. So the whole writing thing kind of came into being, that, you know, I had to tell the stories I wanted to tell, and then directing might come by important to write. So I became a writer, and I came to Los Angeles, 1983, and in television for, I don't know, 18 years. I wrote for a lot of TV shows, a lot of sitcoms primarily, until I kind of realized, well, where the hell am I? I mean, I'm like one of the guys, I'm Mexican. Nobody thinks I'm a Mexican. Everybody never really figured me for a Mexican guy. And at some point I just said, I gotta write things that show me, and cliches that are being shown constantly. And for some reason, it occurred to me that I needed to go to advertising. I mean, most people in advertising want to be in TV. Actually, I was on TV and decided.
That is very true. Everyone wants
to go
the
to
other side.
Because the roles in television and film were all cliches, like, you know, the illegal alien, the undocumented, the cartel, the criminal, the hookers, everything was like that. But on advertising, everything was the opposite. Everyone was aspirational. Everybody had a beautiful home. It's like a gigantic identity crisis if you were growing up in this country seeing these roles.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. I was in advertising. I was a creative director. I influenced a lot of. I did a lot of good things, I think, for us. But then the whole bureaucracy just kind of got to me, and I became an independent producer, writer, director, and I wrote Salma Hayek's first thing when she actually came to town, and to this day, this thing, it was too much for these guys. I mean, I remember the executive at the meeting saying, "Who are these people?" I mean, and it was only because she was a college job. And this is a direct quote from an executive, which shall go nameless, but says, "You write a show about a guy a girl selling oranges in the freeway, and I'm there with you, but I don't understand these people." So, I mean, it's like, it's been an uphill battle constantly, but which, like, I think any kind of project that brings about this kind of experiences, talent, and produces a thing that everybody can relate to, because here the common denominator is being locked down, essentially. Mm-hmm. Produced and written and directed by a different set of experiences than those that we are used to. I think it's a definitely worthwhile cause. So that's the short of it.
Thank you.
So, Eddie.
Hi, Eddie.
Hello, Stephen, and hello, everybody. Hello, my beautiful filmmakers.
Hi.
I'll just be real quick. I started acting in college when I auditioned for the school play to get extra credit for a class. Next thing you know, the director gave me the lead role in the play, and 2 years later, I changed majors and screwed up all my plans. I was in New York. A couple of years later, I moved to LA. I met Alex, and I don't even know when it was. He sent me a message saying, "We're doing this thing. Do you want to play?" I said, "Yeah, I want to play." And then that's how I got involved in this. That's my story.
Very cool. Thank you, Eddie. I think we have
Betty and Chu.
Hello. Buenas tardes. How you doing, Stephen?
Hello.
Well, buenas tardes. My name is Jesus Chetino. My wife, Betty Lopez. And first of all, I want to thank God for this wonderful opportunity. I want to thank God for meeting Yeniffer and Mauricio, and they give us the honor to be working with all of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
How do I started acting? I started as a senior when I was 8 years old. But when I saw, I could never find my own, my own voice, my own style. So I became an impersonator. I do voices. Then I said, you know what? I started kind of, liking acting. So I started pursuing acting, and now, of course, I'm in love with it. And then I wanted to do the cross. I said, you know what? I've done a lot of theater, commercials, but everything in Spanish. So I said, I want to do the crossover. So I started looking for a teacher, for a mentor. Then I found this great mentor, Bernard Hiller. It's where I met Yeniffer. And that's how I, did the crossover, and then how I started directing. It was, he called me to produce one of things that he was doing, how to become a star in your own business. So he goes, do you have your camera? Can you bring your stuff? So me and my wife, we brought all the things we had on our garage. He goes, oh my God, where do you had all these things? And literally I told him it was in my garage because I didn't know how to use none of them, not even the C-stands. He goes, why, how? And I said, because I partnered with a guy who knows how to do all these things, and he left to Mexico, and we were left with tools.
Oh my God.
Treasure trove.
What a
You
gift.
know it, how to use it.
And Bernard Hiller goes, are you crazy or what? Oh my God, you have all this in your garage and you're not doing anything for over a year. Hold on 1 second. Then he calls somewhere and he says, you know what? We're producing in Los Angeles, forget it. Boom, he hung up the phone. And I'm like, okay. Then he goes, you're gonna be my producer. And I didn't know. I had no idea. I'm like, okay, I'll be. I started.
I love that.
The first day when we
thrown into the fire, you'll figure it out as you go along.
The first day when we recorded, I put my, the director's cut, the slate, and I put director Bernard Hiller, of course. How I was gonna do to direct this guy? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, we're gonna start. He goes, erase that name. You will be my director.
Wow.
Like, no.
He believed in you.
I love that.
So I directed this guy for 2 months, and that's how we started, me and my wife, Awaken Entertainment Inc. And that's how I end up working with all of you guys, and I am so proud. Thank you for the opportunity.
That's very inspiring. You really just got thrown in there, and look what you've accomplished. That's amazing. So.
Well, my name is Betty Lopez, like my husband said, and I kind of have a similar story. I started dancing since I was 3. I was born in LA, but I ended up in El Salvador. My parents got separated. And I've always had this love and passion for dancing and singing. So at a very young age, I used to say, I'm going to be a singer and I'm going to do this. But unfortunately, I don't have that voice. So I stuck to dancing. So I was doing
But you have the hand moves.
moves, yes. It's all night, baby.
Oh, she got moves, all right.
Yes, so I love dancing. So that's how I started in this. And I used to entertain my family. I used to do comedy at a very young age. I was inspired by this comedian, Salvadorian actor. So that's how I started at a very young age. Then I came back to LA at 13, had my kids at a very young age. So I said, forget about my career, forget about my life. I was a single parent at 17. So then I just had my 2 children. Then years later, I'm gonna fast forward to 2008. Then I saw my daughter being very sick, very articulate. So, I heard this commercial on the radio in the Spanish media to take the kids for an audition, for this and that. So I thought, what a good time to take my daughter. She was 7 at that age. So I took her to an audition. She was so frightened. So I decided to I told her, look, I'm a model, okay? I'm gonna do the audition for you. I'm just gonna show you. Mommy's gonna show you. So the lady said, yeah, we have for adults. No, I'm not doing the audition for me. I'm just gonna put my daughter. So story short, I modeled my daughter how to do an audition and how to do the whole protocol to get into the school. So I get a phone call a week later. Oh yeah, by the way, your daughter was adorable. We want to meet with her, so she won like these grants for these classes. And I was like, oh sure, thank you. And by the way, you also got a grant so you can come to class. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Into the audition for me. I just did it for my daughter. But okay, I'll take it. So that's how I started into the acting career. And that day, I remember there was like an audition call for for a play. So it was my first day of class. I didn't really have knowledge of acting, although I always love entertainment and the acting, but I didn't know how to pursue it. So I was leaving class and everybody had done the audition. And my acting coach said, Betty, aren't you gonna do the audition? I was like, oh no, this is my first day. I don't really know what to do. He goes, just do it. So I went and did it. And then I get a call that I was gonna stay for the play. I got the part of the character. And then fast forward later, I meet Jesus, my husband. I meet him in that.
And I fall in love with her.
So I meet him, but it's funny because just because I took that decision to go, I kind of felt like I was forced to jump into that. Yeah. But what if I had not done that audition? He was not part of the class. He had already taken those classes years before. I was like the beginner of the class. Mm-hmm. But because of that play, we met. And through that, we became friends, and he was helping me how to do the character because I was like, I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing. Help me find the character. Blah,
I was her acting coach, but
Yeah. Story short, then he tells me that he loves me and blah blah blah. And then
you said no.
I said no. I didn't want to be with anyone.
She's like, oh my God, no, please, not you.
I don't want to get to like my love story here, but bottom line, I believe that acting got us together. And I believe, even though sometimes I'm scared to jump in, I feel like God just pushes me, like, just take the leap of faith and jump.
Yeah.
And I took a break of acting and I got into the entrepreneur business. And then Jen tells me, hey, Betty, we'd like you and Jesus to jump into this project. I was like, oh my God. And I looked at him. He's like, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. This is a great opportunity to, exercise and do our creation. And he's very creative, by the way. He's crazy. So in a good way. So, and I'm able to meet with these beautiful people, learning, and now I'm here talking to you. So that's her story.
It's all part of God's plan. That's an amazing, inspiring story. So thank you for sharing.
Alex
has to unmute.
Okay, unmuting.
Hello, Alex.
Hi, Steven. Nice meeting you. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you again. Well, I'm very lucky because I have a lot of thought. Alex Mendoza, El Bonito's nephew. My mom is his wife's sister.
Gotcha.
And I'm also a filmmaker, ex-advertising guy, voiceover actor, father of 2 small children, and wife of and husband of an amazing woman who is also my partner in the project. I guess we got called in because we're also communicators and artists, got into this business always with the dreams. I feel like everyone has been saying it, since you're a kid, you have certain dreams and certain things you want to do, and in a way life kind of brings you to your true calling. Like I'm sure it's the same for you, Steven, and why you're doing this and why you interview us, but this project in particular was, like Alex was saying, you don't know what to, I mean, in my case, we're super busy, regardless of, I mean, we do work to live and earn money in advertising, and me as a voiceover actor, but we have 2 small kids that don't have daycare or school. So shooting this was incredibly challenging because we had only very limited time, and obviously when we're incredibly tired at night and they are asleep, so we had to keep it quiet but dramatic, and like
I have 2 kids. I really understand.
yeah, so it was really amazing to work for the first time with my wife on something creative that we're both performing, and yeah, I'm really honored to be part of the project, and first this interview and knowing the backgrounds of all the people that in a way we've met 2 months ago through Zoom, and we've all kind of been in parallel to create this anthology, which has been an amazing journey, and I'm incredibly thankful with my invisible wife. But she's also sending vibes. She's with the kids now. But thank you again for the opportunity, and nice meeting you again.
Thank you, Alex.
And I'm in New York. I'm the only one that is, I think, one of the only ones that is not in.
People in Mexico. We have people in
California.
And I'm in Florida, so we're all over the place.
Yeah.
Cesar, next.
Cesar, I think.
Steven, how's it going? My name is Cesar Gamino. My background is, I'll keep it brief for you. Always been a performer. So I have training since I was a child as a classical violinist. So I've always been on stage. So it's never been something that's alien to me, but I was fortunate enough to have a camcorder in the house. My dad worked for the school district in Wisconsin, where I'm from. And so back in those days, the camcorder with a 1/2-inch VHS tape was, the tape deck was separate and there was a cable going to the camera. I mean, we're talking old school. And I was always playing with that thing. So I always say I was born with a camcorder on my shoulders, because I was always acting in front of it, behind it, editing with, 2 VCRs, super rudimentary when I got into high school. We had an actual deck with the controlling jog wheels and everything. So, I mean, and then I just kept making projects and stepping up my game from, stop motion with the G.I. Joe figures, and I would do all the voices, to projects in high school. Then when I finally got into college, I actually studied engineering. That was a bad distraction. And then I came back to the arts, was an independent filmmaker at the University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee, and then said, screw this, I'm going to LA. Studied acting, Meister and Technique out here in LA. And it wasn't until this past, like 2009, when I got more involved and started making more projects. I made a good project that was a short film called The Violinist. There's the poster behind me.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got the poster behind you.
Inside. And that did the festival circuit. I starred in that, I produced in it. And then when we came out here this time, my girlfriend and I, Susie, she's a writer on the project. We both acted in the COVID project, this one. But we started our own, making a Latino web series, which was a lot of fun, called Dirty Cues. And then we ended up just using that same name to make more comedy videos, and everything's on our YouTube channel. And a few of them actually went viral. So that's really fun to experience when you create something and the numbers just, you hit refresh, and it's like 10,000 more, 10,000 more. So comedy's been our—
Congratulations, it's hard to get, so.
It is, and it was back in those days when there were write-ups on websites that would make articles, like BuzzFeed was doing stuff, other Pop Sugar, all these ones would write up stuff, and then it would just spread around. Reddit would pass it around, and now a lot of those websites, they don't make their stuff, so you're pretty much really on your own to promote your stuff. But the cream always rises to the top. Yeah, now we've been putting stuff on TikTok. TikTok's our new favorite.
Oh yeah,
like this.
I can't dance, so I'm not on it. I enjoy watching the videos though.
But don't think that it's all dancing. Imagine it more like an improved Vine. Short form content, you control really your algorithm. So for me, it's all comedy videos and cats, animals doing funny things. So we made our own series on there called It's Always Sunny in Quarantine. And we've been adding to those. All of those videos are, as well as TikTok, they're on our YouTube channel, but the numbers are on TikTok. And it's just, you know, what else are you gonna do? So it's been really fun, and we love working together. We're a production team, and we have a very well-oiled system of us when, you know, when it comes to us having to do every job, you know, we work really well together. So it's really fun to have a partner that you work well with and, you know, can kind of finish each other's thoughts and working together stuff. And that's it. So here we are today.
Very cool.
That's all of us, right?
Yeah. All right. So let's get into this project. This is kind of exciting because to me, it reminds me of being in college, trying to figure out what I can actually shoot. You know, I basically had to write around what locations I had, like a dorm room, you know, apartment and stuff. So basically talk about the strategies of filming all these different locations and putting together a cohesive story, beginning, middle, and end.
It is, the origins of the project is very mundane, okay? It doesn't have that much of a, my fellow co-operators talk too much about the great idea that it was, but it was not born from inspiration. It was born from, grew up on me. The project grew up on me. The first thought that started all this was how the after party of COVID-19 would look like in the courtyard of the Egyptian theater.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
That's how it started.
It's in my head right now.
That's how it started. I wanted to make a party, a big party, because I do the showcase at the Egyptian, okay? I know that I can access the theater, not always, not for sure. We still need the approval of the Cinematheque, but that was the intention, to have a film to show in the party. It was not an after party of a film, it was an after party with a film. So I say, okay, well, if I do an open call for films to start preparing this now, I'm gonna end up quarantine looking at films that I don't want to see. So I decided that was not an idea, that was crazy. Then talking with Alejandro Patiño, another actor, we were talking about a photo we have, Oscar, Alejandro, and I in one of the, I think it was the Latino Film Festival or something like that. We were talking about that, and I told him, what's happening now, no studio executive will buy. Mm-hmm. If I present this story to a studio executive, they will not buy it. Why? Because it will strain the suspension of disbelief. Are you telling me that the entire world went into lockdown voluntarily and there's no zombies? It has not been written, okay? Not yet. So we say, okay, let's write it and do it. Okay, let's start thinking on that. Blah, blah, blah. And I say, how in the hell I can produce something like this in a year? It's gonna take a year still to open the thing, you know? Mm-hmm. And I say, how in the hell we could do that? If I go into development, if I start with the premise, the outline, all the process of writing, and even partner with a writer to write a film, I'm gonna take 8 months on development. So that's not an idea. Then I say, well, what's the theme of something like that? And I say, okay, 7 virtues. No, too sugary. 7 scenes, too dark. Why not all of them? And what screenplay can tell you the 14 different scenes and virtues? That's gonna be tough to write. And then one of those light bulbs, hey, why not make it 14 different films? And that's when it started. Then I called As you can tell, we are all friends. We know each other. 7 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon has nothing on us, okay? We are all people that have somehow met for many years. So the first call I did was to Mauricio and Jen because they are producers. I'm not a producer, okay? I have no idea how to produce. The last time I produced was in '85 that I graduated from school. So I needed the producers to help me. If not, I would have done it alone. Who needs partners? The idea was that they love it. I got her at hello. And we even have our name for a company that is secret and insider. The thing is, in 2 days.
You're laughing down there. Some inside joke, huh?
In 2 days, we got her to 14 teams.
Wow.
It was 2 days. I thought it was going to take us 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Who has the time? Who wants to do that? But in between all the people I know that I have met along my career, I knew I could put 14 teams that will board. So I thought it was going to take us 2-3 weeks. But by the second day, Mauricio called me, I have this many. Okay, boom, we are full. Actually, early on in the project, 3 of the teams fell out for different reasons and very valid reasons, all of them. We replaced them in 1 day. I had a waiting list of people wanting to join the project. I didn't have more teams. I didn't have more scenes. I didn't have more
The sequel.
There we go. So,
give in the sequel.
So we are planning to do this between friends for the fun of it. Okay? Let's have fun. Nobody stresses. No, and until today, we continue to be like that. Okay? We have fun. There's no expectations. There's no obligations. This is fun. At the beginning, I thought we were going to end up with a featurette, something like 40 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. But we ended up being a feature length. Then once we got into the feature length area, it got to the point in which I call the Cinematheque. And I say, I'm doing this for this reason. And my contact in the Cinematheque, my champion in the Cinematheque, told me, you're crazy. By the time we open the theater to start showing films, it's gonna be, if good, we're gonna see each other around February, March of next year. And by the time that we could start making parties again in the courtyard, that's gonna be too long. So that means that we are not gonna have access to the Egyptian for the next, I don't know, year and a half. And the funny thing, even when we say, well, we're gonna take our time, we are not gonna rush it, we have been going through the project like crazy. We have been taking all shortcuts that we can think of, okay? And by now, we already got the first finished one. We have one finished completely, no, two. We have two finished completely. One of them think they are finished, but I'm gonna bounce them back and give them an editor to assist them, okay? And that has been my role. My role has been trying to everybody here has learned something new. There's actors that have never directed. There are producers that have never wrote, okay? There's a guy like me that have never been a studio executive, and I feel like one. And I know why they like it, because you do nothing. They do it all.
You You tell people what to do, huh?
Not even that. Not even that. Just tell them, no, tantito to the left, tantito to the right, just to keep the whole anthology working together. The funny thing is that six of them, I never expected their approach. Okay, completely blew me away from their approach. Then 3 of them, I find out that they were shooting in multiple locations. There's one that is being shot. Well, it was shot on one country, in another country, shooting to also. And the funny thing is that those 2 are the same character. Okay? One of them, you will see the face being one actor and the POV being another actor, being the same character.
Oh, wow. That's
Okay?
pretty cool. See?
Things like that.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see things like that. We have one that they were shooting in one location, then they were shooting in another location with the director in a 3rd location. Okay? So what is proving this without, I wasn't trying to do something extraordinary. I was just trying to have fun. But it came out to be an extraordinary project because we're learning things that half of the procedures of making a film, I will throw away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I will throw away because we are overcomplicating the business of making a film. And now that we have truly tools like we can produce 14 films in phone.
Yeah, the quality has gotten so good. I mean, you can't really tell the difference between a phone and a camera.
I have a story, and I think I share it with my partners here. I already shared it, and I share it with you. The first time I'm in school, I'm in film school, in an auditorium, sitting with another, I don't know, 30, 40 people. We don't know each other. Nobody knows each other. Pretty much everybody is foreign in there. And we're waiting for the class to start, for the teacher to come in. And then suddenly, a very beautiful woman, of course, called my attention, with a dolly, with a cart. Not a camera dolly, with a cart, with boxes on it. Without saying a word, she stands, puts 1 box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes, open 1 box, open the box, open the 3rd box, looks at us, gets her hand in one of the box and pulls out one of those 16 millimeter Abolics. Okay? She pulls out the Abolics. She pulls out the magazine. She pulls out the black bag and say, this is all you need to make a film. Everything else is surplus. Everything else that you could put on it will make it better. But this is all you need. Everything else is add-on. And this project proves it more than any. Okay? That's what it is. You don't need to have too much to do one. But as I told the group, we will not have production value. There's no way to have high production value. Mm-hmm. Our production value is going to be the stories. That's what it's going to count. Funny thing, 3 weeks. The most notes I gave to one was 3 notes. No notes, 3 drafts. We went through 3 drafts. Okay? That was how much we developed We develop the stories in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Not only come up with it, but develop it too. Again, the expectations are none. The results are exceptional. Okay? The results are truly exceptional. I'm so humble on being able to exploit so many creative people. Truly,
Everyone's
truly.
smiling. Look at that. You made everyone's day.
I feel very humble and very honored that in my life I have always tried to help not only my people but every people, and the result of this is I have noticed that a lot of people has a lot of esteem for me, because all of them are helping me without any expectation either. Okay? And all of these people are professionals. Mm-hmm. None of these is a novice. Okay? All of these are years and years and years of experience. And now we share it with each other. We have Cesar as our technical, where's Cesar? Where he goes? As our technical director. He's the one who knows. Okay? And then we have people helping with stories, and it has been a complete collaborative effort, but they have not seen each other, not only the screenplay, they have not seen the films. Wow. They have not seen the screenplay. They have not seen what the others are doing. There's only right now 1, 2, 3 people that have seen all of them.
Okay.
Okay.
So we go around and everyone talk about what scene they're in, I guess, or
no.
No.
Can't do that.
Because
you're still in development and changing and editing.
No. They are filmed. They are in the can. Okay. All of them are in the can, but we are playing a gimmick on the audience.
Oh, gotcha. I see. Yeah.
Okay. We are playing a gimmick on the audience in which we expect the audience that by the 2nd or 3rd episode, they learn that we are trying to make them guess what virtue or scene we're talking about.
I'm even more intrigued now, actually.
We will be putting first the title of the episode, because all of them have a title. Well, there's a couple of you that still owe me your title, and all of them have a theme. Okay, so what we're planning to do is first the title of the episode with colon, with an ellipse, 1, 2, 3. We go to the episode itself, and then we come back to a black card with the ellipse and the theme at the end. The theme will be revealed at the end. We're hoping that by the 2nd or 3rd episode, the audience caught up that that's what we're asking them to do. So these people are forbidden to tell which scene or virtue they are working on.
I love it.
They can tell you many stories and anecdotes. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe we have 4 here. Yeah, 4, and I think we have 6 altogether that are married couples. Both of them professionals.
That's the life.
Both of them enclosed, having to get together on creative ideas. Yeah, I had to serve as marriage counselor for 6 of them.
Look at that.
Here, one. Judy, tell me one story about how you're gonna kill Oscar.
Oh, how much time do you have? I'm just kidding. Actually,
we have been on for almost an hour and 20 now, so.
You're gonna have a hard time editing this thing, man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We'll give you some.
Somebody's leaving. Eddie?
Are saying bye. Eddie's gotta go.
People gotta go.
See Eddie.
And
Thank you,
but
Stephen.
also went. And so I think we can wrap it up in like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
So Betty and Chuy decided to leave because she doesn't want to tell on Oscar.
Love the wallpaper, Stephen, by the way.
Hey, I forgot to turn her sound on, one of her big takes.
Yeah, Empire Strikes Back. So filmmaking. So
that full wallpaper.
Where are you finding one?
I have something to tell you guys. It was a day. It's really hard to direct your wife. Well, I found that, and
I can only imagine. Everyone, a lot of people are laughing.
I would tell her.
Not as hard to direct your husband.
No, yeah. Okay, it was a day. Every time I see a scene that I could record, I would tell, let's record this. This is a great scene. Let's do it. We have all the things together. Let's do it. And she'll go, oh my God, you want to be filming all day? Oh my God, I have to wash dishes. I have to take care of the house. And then I go, but we have to do it. And then there was a time when she goes, whoa, you're the star of the film. So, and I said, imagine if you be the one on the film all the time, it wouldn't be harder for me to have you all the time recording. And I said, you know what, we both are the stars of this film. We have to do it.
Yeah. We are.
Now you know what I mean, huh?
So, the rest is history.
That's funny.
If you promise me that you will not show it, I will show you work in progress.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me see if I can share. It's okay if I share my screen, Steve.
Yeah. Do I
Yes.
have to click something? Or?
Imagine what it'd be like to direct a fellow wife actress. Susie made it easy. She's like, give me a line reading. Just tell me how to say it. I said, boom.
Wait for Okay, let's
She's not an actress.
see.
She's fine with that.
Let me get first into it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where are you? Where are you?
Oscar, you should make that your green wall background. You should make that the green screen and just put like a forest behind there in the program.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Everybody green, might as well.
That's funny. I'd like to share for us, I think the most challenging was to be the DP. Because there was one time where I panned the, it was perfect. I was getting the time and I'm like, and I'm panning to get my daughter and Mauricio was standing in the middle of the shot. So I was like, babe, you're in the shot. That happened to us several times.
Well, that's what happens. That's what happens when you decide to shoot something and when you really don't have a storyboard.
Like here, it's in here.
I was going to say, I blame Mauricio for not checking the storyboards on the day of the shoot first. Man, you know you're not in the shot.
One interesting thing I've kind of come against was like just the local area. So like there's a bunch of kids who live right outside of my apartment. And so I actually kind of use that as well, where like there's a moment where my hair character hears that. But it's interesting because the idea of sound, you know, it's like he's in his own world. But then I'm trying to develop that. And then there's like, outside, like, you know, from 12 until 4. And so, and, you know, especially trying to get the light right and trying to get everything right. And then there's kids happening. There's also like in my upstairs, like above me in my apartment, just randomly, I think he has weights, but there's just like a huge like boom, like just random times during the day. And so I'm like, I hope he has weights or something and just like dropping them because that's what it sounds like. It's absolutely crazy. But, you know, trying to navigate around that. And like you said before, like writing the locations to where you're at. Because like exactly, right, we're quarantined. So it's like taking place in our homes, taking place in our living spaces, and trying to kind of look at it from a directorial eye of like, okay, how can I make this engaging? How can I make this exciting? And so definitely trying to utilize what we have to our disposal, whether it be children outside or our house or each other. So it's been really interesting how, you know, that limitation it breeds creativity in these ways that we wouldn't think was possible. Like we were saying, like there's so much to make a movie, but in this time it's just like streamlining it. We're on set every day. You're at a location every day since you live there. So it's also interesting trying to play with that. It's been a really great experience.
I love that. Yeah.
Well, as producers, it's been the easiest thing to produce because
we don't have to pay for location.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have to move trucks
or get permits for the location.
You didn't have to rent equipment either, huh? You just,
Okay. Let me preface this with it is a work in progress. We were trying to put a scratch music track and a scratch narration track to have it today, but again, we couldn't cut enough shortcuts, do enough shortcuts. So we are down to just
50 plus filmmakers, one shared purpose, 17 locations, 13 cities, 2 countries, 7 sins, 7 virtues, and 1 virus, all in isolation.
I miss the way you smell.
I miss you stinky butt too. You know what I mean. Do you think things will ever get back to normal?
What do you mean?
It's gonna change everything. Here's my guy. And she steps in. What's his name again?
Well, his name is Dude.
Back to work.
That's it.
Wow, I mean, it's got elements of everything. Yeah. Great job, everybody.
You can share the clips. Do not share the cards. Okay.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna have everything go through the PR before anything goes online, so you can they'll approve it, or they'll send it to you guys.
Okay.
So basically, 14 episodes. Where do you see this coming out, and what platforms? Or is it still kind of in development?
And once we find out that it's gonna be too long waiting for the Egyptian theater.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Cinematheque likes what we're doing and allows us to co-present with them. If not, we will do it in the patio of my home. But the idea is that once this long-term thing sank on me, that I was too much to wish for, again, the project grew on me. So now we have a feature length that we are pretty much well advanced on it, that we could actually release in probably 3-4 months once we do all the post and we have it all ready and all that. In 3 months, we will be able to put it up. Already with the American Cinematheque, if they like it, we'll premiere it. We will premiere it in their website. So we will be presented by the American Cinematheque. That if they like it, okay? That alone will expose us to the membership of the American Cinematheque. The membership of the American Cinematheque is the who's who of the industry, okay? So, and now they are very related to Netflix. Now there are about 6 open calls I have seen for people asking for stories to do shorts. And they're gonna receive open call and then choose 10 and give $10,000 to the projects and to see who could shoot or what they can do with it. Well, in the meanwhile, they are doing all that. We are almost finished. So the interest is there. The access is there. The opportunity is there. So the current strategy, and my mom always told me that it's wise of wise men to change this, to change opinion. But right now the current strategy will be to release it under the flag of the American Cinematheque, probably under the flag of Apertura too. And then hopefully we can get one of those executives to make the phone call.
Is there going to be like a website or anything that be updated throughout this social media, or we're going to be following this journey along as it gets released?
Thank you. What we are doing now, now that we held announcing the project until about, when was it? Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah. So
recently.
Yeah, that's why I got the press release. Yeah, Monday.
No, Wednesday of last week.
Wednesday
of last week. We released it. We held of telling people about the project until we were certain that we were going to be able to make it. Once it's in the can, that everybody has finished principal photography, now the project itself will finish itself. Even if the lead team dies, one of the teams will pick up.
Jeez. Not to be morbid or anything.
No, I killed the two of you. So that presents a very unique opportunity also. The fact that we still need a film to make the after party at the Egyptian. So we already are working on the sequel. And it's going to be called Covid19 Sins Virtues, the second wave.
Ah, that's clever. I like that.
And the idea is that we're going to, first of all, invite all the people that work in the first one. Okay? Those that, because the experience was not that pleasant, to choose not to do it again, then we will replace them with a new team coming from outside. But now I'm asking them that each story be shot at least in 2 locations. Okay, not enclosed in one location, but come up with a story that you have more than one location. And if you have 20, then we could sell the technique to the studios.
Oh, changing history. I like that.
The idea is, this is an experimental film, no doubt about it. Okay? There's no expectations. There's no obligations. Let's see what we can come up with.
Premier Julian.
Okay, for the experience, just for the experience. Okay, now if we happen to make one,
that's so good.
$1, we will share that buck between all of us. Okay? There is no one in this project. Oh, I should have started with that.
Yeah, well, that goes back to my original question, where your passion for this come from. Like I said, it's not about the money in this industry. You want to tell stories.
This
project alone is all about telling a story.
Yes. The star of our short just walked in the door, and want to introduce her. Her name is Juliana. She's been doing school, and the good news is she got to 6,500 points in her reading, and the goal was 5,000. So
Wow.
We've got
Very good.
a champion in
You
our
got
hand
ice cream
here.
for
All right, so just wanted her to say hello, say hi to the rest of the team.
Hi.
And
we'll
it's
wrap
almost
this up
done.
soon, so you can help her out if anything. So
Two more days, and she is a
done.
third grader.
Wow. And I also saw someone had a cat that I saw in a shot earlier that was in it. Yeah, that was you.
So that's Oscar and
Oscar,
Chucky.
that was your cat, huh?
Unmute yourself.
There you, I think it takes a second to get on mute after you push it. There you
He's
go.
also, he's also in the movie because he can't shut up, so we had to.
Exactly. We made
ourselves into the movie.
Yes, it's a family affair. This whole process.
It's all about what are you using, what do you got? You know, you got your family around. Hey, you're gonna be in this thing I'm working on. So.
That's right.
Like it or not.
All right.
Yeah.
So lastly, website, so we can keep up to date with all of this experimental film that's may or may not change the world, how we shoot stuff. I'm very intrigued.
That was what I was telling you is now that we have announced it, and we starting to get people calling saying how we could help. So in there we're gonna collect our webmaster, our Facebook master. We will collect all those social.
Gotcha.
I don't know anything about it. I'm too old for things.
We speak to that. We've got some people in the wings waiting to jump on and create the website and.
Well, most likely I'll put this online when you do have a website. Otherwise, there's no reason because we're not putting traffic to the site. You know.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So it will be we will keep telling people what we're doing and all that type of thing. But I want to congratulate everyone now that it's gonna be out there, because all of you took a challenge of going the wrong way. You usually write and then figure out how to do what you wrote. In this case, you needed to figure out how you were going to do it before you wrote your screenplay. That alone must have been an excruciating task, okay? With that limitations, and all of you came out with outstanding stories, and the way you approach it and all that is going to continue to be fun, and it's going to be an amazing film.
Well, yeah, I mean, one thing that I'll have to say, being a producer, is that is the smartest way to start producing, right? You write a script based on what you have so you can actually get it done and not have to wait for money. That's how we started.
True.
And secondly, that the way Jen and I have always been able to get our productions done is we find out what money we have first, even if the script is there, and then we work the money that's there to make that production happen. So this has also been great for everybody because it lets you know that as a producer, you can get things done if there's a willingness to want to.
Yes.
You know? So, sí se puede.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
For the invitation, thank you very much. You have the distinction of being our first interview.
Yeah, this is exciting. You know, I do a lot of, I used to do a lot of red carpet interviews, and you usually have like a minute or two with people on the carpet, you know, and I guess it's kind of part of God's plan that, you know, this thing happened. Now I'm doing the Zooms and I can really get to know people and find their stories. And especially that's why I like asking the passion question. All of you have had amazing stories. We all come together to this amazing project. So thank you for all sharing it. This is definitely the longest interview I've ever done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I keep telling the gang that the Q&As of this film is gonna be hours.
Yeah. But it's very interesting. I mean, this hour and 45 minutes almost now really flew by.
So I can guarantee you that we could go on another 2 hours.
We can make a day workshop.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you to our PR, Jasmine and Camille and Alex, our leader. And thank you to all the filmmakers for being committed, because that's what this has taken, commitment to want to do this. And it's been a beautiful process to see everyone stepping up and doing it for the love of the art of what we do, for the love of who we are as artists. So it's really awesome. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.